Imagine a world where AI, artificial intelligence, could spot a disease years, literally years, before any human doctor. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's happening now. It's already here, changing medicine. Yet there's a hidden side to this whole revolution, something that can impact your health without you even knowing it.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into that, into the ethical minefield, really, of AI in healthcare. By the end of this deep dive, you'll understand why your doctor might not fully trust an AI's diagnosis just yet, and how your data, your really sensitive health data, is being protected, or maybe, not quite enough, and what's being done to make sure this tech actually helps everyone, not just a select few. You'll know something 99% of people don't about the actual challenges behind all the headlines.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We've got some incredible source material to work with here. Excerpts from AI and clinical practice, ethical and regulatory challenges. And this stuff, it cuts right to the heart of what's keeping doctors, developers, policymakers awake at night. Our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, to get you genuinely well-informed about these silent battles being fought to make AI and health safe and fair for you. Think of it like a powerful new car, right? Super shiny, promises amazing performance, but maybe there are hidden engine issues, things that could affect safety down the line. We need to look under the hood.
That's a good analogy. And what's fascinating here is just how fast AI is moving. It's going from research labs, theoretical stuff, into actual clinics, day-to-day practice. But that speed, well, it brings a critical need for scrutiny, especially when we're talking about something as personal, as vital as our health. We'll explore the 5 core challenges outlined in this material, focusing on how they directly impact the future of medicine and your care.
Right, so here's where it gets really interesting, and maybe a bit surprising. You might think AI is, purely objective, just numbers, logic, no bias.
That's the common assumption.
Exactly. But the sources, they reveal a startling truth. AI models trained on, let's say, non-diverse data, they risk perpetuating health disparities.
Yeah.
Big time. If an AI only learns from data representing one specific group, it might literally miss or misdiagnose conditions in others. It's like, imagine a chef learning to cook, but they only ever use salt, no other spices. The results, limited, maybe bland, potentially just wrong for lots of different tastes.
That really hits the nail on the head, and it raises this huge question. If an AI model is trained mostly on data from, say, white males in urban centers, what happens when it's used for, I don't know, an elderly woman in a rural area or someone from a minority ethnic group? The material highlights that ensuring data sets are truly representative and then continuously auditing these models, it's absolutely critical. Otherwise, this promise of equitable healthcare through AI, it could actually widen the gaps you already have, making healthcare potentially less fair for you depending on your background.
Wow. So how do we even make sure AI sees everyone equally, and who's checking its homework, so to speak?
That's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? It requires active effort, careful design, and ongoing vigilance.
Okay, that's a huge one. Bias. Now let's talk about something else making doctors maybe a bit nervous. The black box problem. Imagine like a self-driving car that just suddenly turns right, but it can't tell you why it decided to turn right, not left.
Right. No explanation.
That's often the challenge with AI in medicine. The sources call out explainability as this massive barrier. Clinicians, doctors, they need interpretable AI recommendations. They need to understand the why behind a suggestion to trust it, to validate it. But many complex AI models, particularly the deep learning ones, they're called black box models. They give you an answer, often a very accurate one, but no clear reasoning.
And if you think about it, trust is absolutely fundamental in healthcare. A doctor can't just blindly accept a recommendation if they can't understand the logic behind it. The material makes it really clear. Without interpretable AI, getting it widely adopted in clinics is going to be severely limited. It's not enough for the AI to be right. It kind of needs to show its work, like a student solving a math problem,
Yeah, you need to see the steps.
Precisely. This is crucial for patient safety, for physician acceptance. It ensures your doctor feels confident in the advice they're getting, or maybe even giving based on the AI.
So how do you make a black box transparent? Especially when, lives are potentially on the line.
Well, that's a huge area of research right now. Explainable AI, or XAI. People are developing methods, but it's complex. Sometimes making it more explainable makes it a tiny bit less accurate. It's a trade-off they're grappling with.
Okay, another big challenge. Let's shift gears slightly. Data privacy. Your medical records. I mean, that's about as private as it gets, right?
Yeah.
Super sensitive stuff.
Absolutely.
Now imagine that data being shared. across different hospitals, labs, research places,
Yeah.
all being fed into AI systems. Our sources are really emphatic on this.
Hmm.
We need robust, seriously strong safeguards to protect patient information, especially when data is shared between institutions, which AI needs to learn effectively. It feels like trying to secure Fort Knox while also needing to let suit and approved people in and out constantly.
Or maybe navigating rush hour traffic in Mumbai or LA without a single fender bender. It's that complex.
Yeah, exactly. It's a massive ongoing challenge.
And it raises this really important point. Data breaches happen, right? We hear about them all the time. So how do we ensure medical data stays sacred, especially with all the sharing needed for AI? The material stresses robust safeguards, but it's more than just basic compliance, like ticking boxes for IPI. It's about maintaining public trust. Ensuring privacy isn't the price we pay for progress.
So what does that look like in practice?
We're talking about some pretty sophisticated stuff. Things like federated learning, where the AI model trains on data without that data ever leaving the hospital
Oh,
servers.
interesting. So the data stays put.
Exactly. Or techniques like differential privacy, adding statistical noise so individual records are protected even in large data sets. Or even homomorphic encryption, doing calculations on data while it's still encrypted. For you, the listener, this means there are teams constantly working on new ways, cryptographic ways, architectural ways to keep your health data safe. It's a constant evolution.
That's somewhat reassuring, knowing those advanced methods are being developed. But it leads to another tricky question, doesn't it? Accountability. This is our, fifth challenge area. When an AI makes a mistake in healthcare, who's actually responsible?
Ah, yes. The liability question.
If a doctor makes a mistake, well, the lines of responsibility are pretty clear, usually. But with AI, say an AI developed by company A, integrated by tech firm B, used by hospital C, makes a bad call that harms a patient. Who's on the hook?
Mm-hmm.
The sources point this out as a major hurdle, this lack of clear liability frameworks. It makes hospitals and doctors hesitant.
Absolutely. It's a huge legal and ethical gray area right now. And the material highlights how this uncertainty can actually stifle innovation. Developers might be wary, clinicians are definitely wary.
So is it the AI creator? The hospital? The doctor who clicked accept on the recommendation?
Hmm.
The company that supplied the maybe biased data?
It could be any or all of them. And that's the problem. There's a real call, highlighted in the source material, for specific regulatory guidance to clarify this. Maybe shared liability models, or clearer lines depending on how autonomous the AI is. Is it just an assistant, or is it making the final call?
Right.
Without that clarity, the fear of the unknown legal fallout could really hold back AI's potential benefits. And notice how it connects back to explainability. If you can't tell why the AI messed up, figuring out who's at fault is almost impossible.
Okay, so we've laid out some pretty significant challenges here. Bias, the black box issue, privacy, accountability. It sounds a bit daunting. Are we just sort of hoping for the best? Crossing our fingers that this powerful tech doesn't cause more harm than good?
Thankfully, no. It's not just hope. The sources show there's a lot of proactive work happening on the regulatory front. Agencies are trying to adapt. They're developing things like adaptive approval pathways and this concept of regulatory sandboxes.
Regulatory sandboxes, what exactly is that? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. Think of them as like safe, controlled environments, almost like a scientific playground, but with really strong safety nets. It's a space where new AI health tech can be tested rigorously, refined, monitored closely by regulators before it gets rolled out widely to the public.
Ah, okay. So innovate, but test it carefully first in a controlled setting.
Precisely. It balances pushing innovation forward with making sure patient safety comes first. It acknowledges that the old ways of regulating might just be too slow for how fast AI is moving.
That makes sense.
But it's not just about rules and regulations. The material really emphasizes something else too. The need for deep interdisciplinary collaboration. It's not just a tech problem for engineers or a medical one for doctors. It needs everyone at the table.
Everyone meaning.
Technologists, clinicians, ethicists, legal experts, policymakers, even patient representatives, they all need to work together. It's about building a whole culture around responsible AI deployment because it's fundamentally a human challenge, right? Needs diverse perspectives to make sure it benefits everyone fairly and safely.
That's a really powerful insight. That collaboration piece might be just as important as the algorithm itself, which actually leads to a little nugget kind of buried in the source material we looked at. Maybe a bit of an Easter egg for listeners paying close attention.
Go on.
The sources don't just suggest interdisciplinary collaboration is a good idea. They frame it almost as a demand for responsible deployment. It implies the ultimate success of AI in health might hinge less on, one brilliant coder or a single breakthrough algorithm,
Hmm.
and more on our collective ability to work together across different fields. That collective intelligence. That's often overlooked, I think.
That is a powerful point. It shifts the focus from just the tech to the entire ecosystem around it. Very insightful.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive. We've seen AI in health is incredibly promising, but faces some serious ethical and regulatory hurdles. First, there's the critical issue of bias and fairness in the data it learns from. Huge implications for equity.
Right, affecting who it serves best.
Second, the need for explainability. Getting inside that black box so your doctor can actually trust the AI's advice.
Crucial for trust and safety.
Third, data privacy and security. Protecting your super sensitive information with really robust, advanced safeguards.
Non-negotiable.
Fourth, that complex web of liability and accountability. Who's responsible when things go wrong? Still needs clearer answers.
A major hurdle still being worked on.
And finally, how things like adaptive regulatory frameworks, those sandboxes, and that vital interdisciplinary collaboration are actively shaping a more responsible future for AI in health.
So thinking about all that, here's a question maybe for you, our listener, to ponder. As AI gets woven more deeply into healthcare, what role do you think patients should play? How much control are you willing to hand over to an algorithm? Even one designed to save your life, maybe. Especially if you can't fully grasp its reasoning or who's accountable if it fails. What level of transparency do you feel you're owed?
Ooh, that's a heavy question. And it actually leads us perfectly into our next deep dive. We'll be exploring something maybe even more mind-bending. The psychological side of relying on AI for our most critical health decisions. Can AI truly understand human empathy, the nuances of fear, hope, pain? Or is there something fundamentally human in medicine that tech just can never replicate?
Hmm.
You won't want to miss that one. Definitely don't be the only one out of the loop on this next crucial conversation about the future of your health.